Fighting corruption at Siemens. First of all, I'm going to explain you what is corruption. Well, corruption is the abuse of power that can be done by an elected politician or by any civil for private gain. It affects everyone whose life, livelihood, or happiness depends on the integrity of people in the position of authority. Well, there are different types of corruption. The first one I'm about to show you is called grand corruption. This corruption pervades the highest levels of a national government, leading to a broad erosion of confidence in good governance. The second one is petty corruption. Well, this one can involve the exchange of very small amounts of money, the granting of minor favors by those seeking preferential treatment, or the employment of friends and relatives in minor positions. And number 3 is bribery. Bribery is the act of giving money, goods, or any other forms of recompense to a recipient in exchange for an alteration of their behavior, normally in benefit of the giver. So how Siemens got into the problem of corruption? Well, let me explain you. It was in 1999 that German law prohibited the payment of foreign bribes. In order to keep covering the slush fund money, Siemens diverted them to a network of accounts and shell corporations. They also hired consultants in order to win contracts that paid them commissions for setting up business consultant agreements so they could justify the slush fund monies. As we know, everything has consequences, and this was the cost Siemens had to pay for this problem. As a result of the investigation, Siemens had to dismiss more than 500 employees who were implicated in corruption and also sued 9 former members of its managing board for $28 million for breaching their duties. This had an impact on Siemens not just on their reputation, but on the image they carry around the world. The solution for fighting corruption in Siemens were the following ones. The change of the board was the first step in the process to fight corruption inside the organization. A new CEO named Peter Lucia, which was a fundamental change but also necessary at Siemens. As Gerard Brace said, the sector compliance officer, you have to change the person on top in order to be able to get the new messages across. The second thing they did was to redefine elements of business for highest performance with highest ethics. If leaders are not able to combine those two elements, they shouldn't be part of the organization, he said. The CEO also talked about establishing a red line that clearly marked no toleration for the past organization's modus operandi, with personal consequences if violated. They also created an amnesty program where employees who provided the company information of wrongdoing would be protected. A new internal audit methodology was implemented. It focused on financial reporting integrity, risk management, and internal control system effectiveness, and, of course, compliance. And last but not least, Siemens redesigned a new compliance program. This program was redesigned to prevent, detect, and respond to compliance problems. They decided to include compliance as one aspect of the compensation paid to its top management. So, what if I were a Siemens employee working in a country where laws and corruption are not enforced? Well, if I were an employee hired by Siemens, it would be my duty to work under the principles that the company establishes, even though the laws and corruption were not enforced in that country. This is because I would work according to the organization system and not to the country's one. Thanks for your attention.